Damn, okay. So what's the truth? I've got The Simpsons there because I feel like sometimes The Simpsons are truer than reality. Maybe that's just because I'm old. One of the things I like about that image on The Simpsons, though, is that that is a really good little focus group. All right, they've got the good number of people, they've got 3 people in the room, they've clearly got the recording equipment behind the mirror, you know, so that's actually quite a nice layout for a focus group. All right, they're standing, the moderators are standing, so when the conversation begins, they can actually all just step back from the table and let the conversation happen. So that's actually not a bad way to collect your data. The other one on the other side has got too many people in it, and you know, they're all a little cozy and things like that, but you know, it is still a focus group. The thing about focus groups is, what truth do you want, all right? As you saw from the outcome of the HoloMen one, they made the truth that they wanted to make, depending on what people had said, what the keywords were, right? They just made it up based on what the focus group data was, okay? The thing about a focus group is that the data gets out of your control. It becomes the data of the people in the room in a way that you just cannot expect. So it's no longer the data for your research, it's the data that they wanted to create and wanted to give you. This is more difficult to happen in an interview. In an interview, you can control the person that you're interviewing, you can push them and pull them, but in a focus group, once you've said it, it's going to give you the truth that it wants to give you, whether or not that's relevant truth or not. And the question is then, is it really truth or is it just them showboating, right? If you've got a really dominant personality that's annoying you or whatever, chances are they're just making a point. So it's their truth that you're getting. You're not actually getting the truth of the people in the room, which means it's a wasted focus group. So truth is really variable, right? So pros and cons, you know, you do get some amazing data. You really do find some amazing, cool things. Our focus group, as out of hand as it was, we got some amazing stuff which meant that we could structure our survey in a completely different way than we expected. You do get diversity of opinion, so you do understand and see a whole range of different things that you weren't expecting. And you know, I didn't realise that physical premises has really annoyed people, but for our research it really did. I was taken aback. I don't care what a building is, but for these people it was really important. All right, and then you will end up with this amazing set of information where your brain is like, well, we thought our problem was here, but our problem is actually over here. And why did we think that, and how did we think that? Because of course you do your literature review before your focus group, right? So it's not like your focus group is just made up. You do your whole literature review, it drives you in that direction, you do your focus group and realise that the problem is actually over here, not over here where the literature said it was. So that becomes a revelation. It becomes an amazing moment in your research, and it really is, because that's what happened to us. It's an extraordinary thing to have happen. They are very, very expensive to run. You're going to have 3 researchers in the room, let alone the hours of analysis of the tape, right? You've got to analyse 2 hours of tape. You've got to do transcripts for all of that, right? So it's insane. If you've got 10 people in your group, you've got to do transcripts, you've got to show all the different speakers, you've got to indicate them, you've got to record. It's insane, right? It is, as I said before, it's really difficult to get a sample group, and they are unbelievably hard to moderate. All right, you have to have a degree of confidence to pull off a focus group. In your lives, you will be in many focus groups because workplaces love them. They will pull you together and they talk about, oh, we think you're doing this restructure, what do you think? And that's not actually a focus group, that's just them telling you they're going to restructure and testing how bad you're going to react. All right, so be careful, not all focus groups are focus groups. But that means they are different, and the planning is a lot. All right, you have to have a lot of planning because you have to be prepped for all those unexpected and unforeseen bits and pieces that occur. Because you're doing it by the seat of your pants. When you walk in the room, set them up, anything can happen. And then if you're not prepped and you're not planned, you will never ever get anywhere close to the data that you need. So you have to be able to pull it off in a really quick way.